Hello, my name is Clyde, and today I'm going to be discussing some domain protection techniques. How to defeat domain spoofing threats. In more specific, I'm going to talk about SPF, DKIM, and DMARC protocols, which makes possible the domain spoofing protection. First, a quick overview on email SMTP protocol, which was created back in the 70s with no security in mind. It originally used port 25. And emails were sent and received in clear text until SSL was developed in 1997, which used port 465. An improvement to that is the current TLS update, which uses port 587. However, the domain spoofing was still a challenge until 2013, when the first draft of DMARC was published. For the domain spoofing protection to work, there are three protocols needed: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. SPF was developed in 2000s and became a standard in 2014. SPF is a DNS record that lists the authorized mail servers that can be sent email in our behalf. DKIM became a standard in 2011. DKIM simply adds a signature into every outgoing email, and in case of the content of the email changes during the email path, that signature is going to also change because the signature is a hash value generated by the RSA private public encryption key, and that means that the integrity, if the DKIM value changes, then that means that the email is no longer trustworthy because the integrity has changed. And then lastly, DMARC was developed in 2012 and it became a standard in 2015. DMARC takes the two previous protocols, SPF and DKIM, and it applies a rule on them. By default, DMARC is set on relaxed mode, meaning that both SPF and DKIM has to be violated in order for the DMARC to take any actions in policies. Policies are none, which doesn't take any action. Quarantine, which is going to put the email into people's spam folder, and reject, which is not going to deliver the email at all into others' people's mail folder. Some domain admins like to also do a more strict rule, meaning that either SPF or DKIM gets violated, the email is gonna get rejected or quarantined. But that requires a lot more configuration, and in the real world cloud usage, it's sometimes not practical and not possible. So the baby steps to implementing the domain spoofing protection is first implementing SPF. We have to tell the world our authorized servers. Second is to implement DKIM. We have to list all of our services that are going to send email in our behalf and make sure that they sign every email that they send. And then lastly, we have to implement DMARC, which is going to take these two previous protocols and apply a rule on them. This is a simple SPF record. It's a text record in our DNS, and it includes the servers that are authorized to send email in our behalf. This is a DKIM record. Note here that the DKIM record is also a DNS record published in our DNS services, and the key here is the public key, which is going to be used from other mail servers. And then lastly, here is a DMARC record, which is also a DNS record, and the policy equals none. It's what policy is going to get applied to the emails that are going to receive from other parties. And you start with a percentage 70, and you start with a percentage 10% of the emails are going to get quarantined, and then you increment from that. Here is a quick overview of the DMARCian, a tool that's used to read the reports from DMARC, and this shows the threats, malicious mail servers that have used our domain for malicious purposes. And I did a quick research for dpol.edu domain. It's nice to see that dpol has implemented a DMARC policy. However, I would recommend that we probably need to bump this up from none to quarantine and start incrementing from 10 to up. So because at this point I can spoof every student's and every professor's email address. So the benefits of implementing domain spoofing protection are: only authorized servers can send emails in our behalf. All outgoing email servers are all outgoing emails are authenticated with encryption and hashing functions to preserve integrity. Domain and email addresses impersonations are prevented. Reputation of the company is not damaged. Deliverability can be improved by 5%, and company reputation can be preserved. Thank you.